The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
The stakes are high, the road is long, and the governing party is back before the people asking for one more chance to lead. Tonight, the PLP is putting its wheels to re-election in motion, ratifying right now 14 of its candidates at this hour. Linton Ritchie Jr. is live at PLP headquarters, and he brings us up to date. Good evening to you, Linton.
Good evening, Shanique. That's right. Coming to you live from the Progressive Liberal Party headquarters, where the first re-election bid has been launched for the Progressive Liberal Party here. Their ratification process is underway. So far to take the stage, it has been sitting member of parliament for Carmichael, Keith Bell. It has been sitting member of parliament for Centerville, Jomo Campbell, JoBeth Colby Davis for Elizabeth. And now the first newcomer has taken the stage, and that is the PLP's candidate for Fort Charlotte, Sebastian. He is being joined by Member of Parliament for the constituency, Alfred Sayers. Of course, we know that he announced earlier this year that he will not be seeking re-election, and now officially it has been announced that Sebastian will take his spot for the Progressive Liberal Party and represent the party in that constituency in the upcoming general election. But it's a very heavy crowd here at the ratification exercise. You hear the music, fireworks are now going off. It is a very packed, energy-packed night. So, of course, we will be standing by, bringing you updates from our digital platforms, but fireworks are now going off. Progressive Liberal Party supporters are screaming. It's a very energy-packed night. Persons are taking out their foods. They are saying that they are hoping the Progressive Liberal Party is able to go 2 straight ahead of the upcoming general election. Coming to you live from the Progressive Liberal Party headquarters, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk. Shanique.
Thank you very much, Linton Ritchie Jr. live at the PLP headquarters, not too far from here, where Sebastian, who has been just recently ratified for the Fort Charlotte constituency for the Progressive Liberal Party, is on the stage speaking. And as you heard, as he wrapped up, fireworks are going off. I really wish we could have heard something from the stage, but where they are positioned, obviously he cannot get there. So listen, we're going to get into that tonight. Also coming up tonight, opposition leader Michael Pintard is renewing his call for a general election. Does that mean that the FNM is not minded to contest the by-election? We hear from the FNM leader coming up this evening. Also, union leaders protested again today, and while they were on the outside protesting, 2 more teachers' unions sat with Prime Minister Davis today. We'll tell you about that. It's all straight ahead tonight. Good evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. I'm Shanique Miller. Welcome to the show. Of course, you all saw what took place right now. In fact, what's happening at the PLP headquarters is the first of its 39 minimum candidates that will be contesting the 2026 general election. The first bunch is being introduced and in some instances reintroduced to the Bahamian public, happening right now at PLP headquarters. I'm going to jump right in with the opinions from my panelists. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, and good evening to each of you. Peggy Scott, also Cassia Stewart, and Howard Johnson. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to tonight's show.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, Shanique.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, 242.
Good evening to each of you. Listen, let's just jump right in. I mean, we saw in Linton's live drop a moment ago that Sebastian is on the stage speaking, I guess, for the first. Well, he's used to being on speaking on platforms in front of people, but certainly this is very different. Peggy, I'll start with you. This is very different than anything and any other podium he's taken.
Listen, Shanique, this is exciting. I feel excitement through the TV. I'm just anticipating going there after the show. But to see Sabas, when I pulled up to the studio, I saw this big light up sign, flying eye or something like that. And so the PLP is making great moves. They're attracting very established newcomers. And everything looked ready to go for 2026, a second term for the Progressive Liberal Party. And I think there's more to come tonight, and I'm excited to see if there will be any other new candidates ratified. But the spotlight is on the PLP tonight.
It absolutely is. Howard, your thoughts on what's happening at PLP headquarters on Farrington Road?
Well, Shanique, the battle lines are drawing and shaping up. It's looking like the candidates are being ratified on both sides. We now have, I believe, 14 on the PLP side and 24 on the F&M side. So what's happening here, Shanique, is we're barreling towards that date, Election Day 2026, when there's going to be a referendum on both incumbents and aspirants. Yes. The referendum on the incumbents is, hey, you got to show us what you've done over the course of the last 4.5 to 5 years. And for the aspirants, you have to make the case that they did not do what they were supposed to do, and you are a worthy replacement. So, Shanique, I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. I want you to know that right here, in preparation for all of this excitement that's going to be coming up over the course of the next 11 months, I don't know if you could see it, but what I have here is
we can't see
box. This is a box of Crunch and Munch, not regular popcorn.
Not your popcorn.
This ain't popcorn.
So you take it a step higher.
Crunch and Munch is buttery, toffee popcorn.
Yes.
This is not regular popcorn. And so I had to get popcorn that is worthy for the moment.
Listen to me. I think on one of these shows, Cassius, I am gonna have to bring I gonna have to go to and I ain't talking about regular. I go into the theater. And I'm going to bring us popcorn because I know we can have many moments to be just do this. How about that? How about we just make that a little thing? Cassius, your thoughts on the PLP's first rollout, on its first tranche of candidates?
Well, Shanique, hello.
Hello.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
No, it's been a minute.
I haven't seen Peggy in a long time.
Hello to you.
Peggy, you look different. Howard Johnson.
You look the same, though, Cassius. You look great. You still look wonderful.
But Howard has said it great. He said it good because right now it's going to be, while we have excitement on both sides, we still have to go to the people. And it is the people who make the final decisions. Mm-hmm. And over the last 5 years, the PLP had an opportunity to display what they can do. The leader of the opposition and the F&M has to now say what they're gonna do, and then the people will have to make their choice. And so, while we hear all the fireworks, we hear all of the excitement, it still boils down to that last day. And you know how elections are. Elections are really called within the last 12 hours of that day. And so we'll wait to see. And the PLP is making a strong case for a second term. And so if they are successful, then they'll be there for another term. And then the leader of the opposition is trying to make his case as to why to choose him. And so all these things are basically what we need to see. And what we really need to see is we need to see where we need to go as a country. I think, both political parties have to show a vision, have to show how their plans are going to enhance the life of Bahamians and make our lives better. And that's how I think this generation of voters are looking forward. What are you doing? I mean, it's always what you can do for me, but how are you going to make my life better? And I think that's where we are now. And so we'll wait to see. After all the smoke is cleared out, after all the fireworks, if the smoke is cleared, then we'll read the plans and we'll peel through the onion leaves and see where we're going. And that's critical for the next election. Where are we going?
That is the most important thing from whether it be your candidate or obviously the official organization. What's your vision to move the nation forward? That's very important. Tonight is the second evening of political activity at the PLP headquarters. Last evening, Eyewitness News spoke with two Acklins residents who made it clear who they want to represent their constituency in the next general election. Residents say there's been little to no development in the district since the last PLP MP, and they are now ready for new leadership.
I can be honest with you, from Mr. V. Alfred Gray left, nothing happened. Nothing have happened from V. Alfred Gray left. But, now that the future's here, we feel good, things is going to move. With Mr. Depute's experience and what he's bringing to the table, he is the right man for the job, because you don't need persons who without a plan or who don't know where they're going to take those islands to be in that chair right now. And when we talked with Mr. Depute and what he presented to us so far, we feel the majority of the people in my cal feel like he's the right man for the job.
When we sat at the table before the election, we had a manifesto and we agreed on some things that's supposed to happen for the Macal constituency. And trust me, man, we are not quite satisfied with what took place over the last 4 years. And I feel as though that Mr. Depute, he need to make up. He need to make up. We don't want anybody who have to go sit and wait for government. We need somebody who can be on the ground, who can make change.
Of course, those men who are from the Mical constituency are referring to Robert Depute Karen. Now, Robert Depute Karen met with the interviewing committee at PLP headquarters last evening, and that is what our news team said. Now, we saw the videos and we've seen a lot of it on social media, that he made quite an impressive showing there. But it's the people and what they are saying, and Cassius, you hit the nail on the head in terms of that, because if you heard Mical, yeah, they're excited about Robert Karen. Robert Karen has a lot of things that he's even shared on this platform about what he plans to do for the entire constituency and what he's already doing. That is on record. But people, I think, are going to be more discerning on whether or not a candidate can hold his or her own until whichever government it is steps in, because oftentimes, the wheels of government turn very, very slowly. And so the thing is, can that candidate be the leader and get it done in the real time as they need it to be done, instead of waiting and waiting and waiting for this approval and the next approval? Your thoughts on how on Mical and how they say they've been treated all this while since Alfred Gray, and the fact that they see what they feel is new hope in this man who is aspiring to be the PLP's nominee?
Well, Alfred Gray is my father-in-law, and Alfred Gray is a man who really worked hard in Mical. And I had an opportunity to visit Mical a few times with him and to see what he has done in Mical. But, the trouble with Mical, when you look at Mical now over the last 2 terms, it's been neglected. When you look at the hospitals, the clinic, it was dilapidated old trees growing up in the clinic windows.
Still. And
so it was so sad, because my children love Acklins. They like to go to Acklins. I don't know why young people like my kids, they're excited to go to Acklins. And so, but for me though, Acklins, it's so isolated for the South. You almost have to run Acklins like an independent territory, allowing them to use the taxes generated to reinvest back into the country instead of sending the taxes out to bring the taxes in, because it's so hard for development because it's so further south. Because if you go further south, you have the Turks and Caicos, which was also a part of the Bahamas, but they have been able to develop because they operate independently. Acklins and Inagua, if we could perhaps grab the same model where the taxes don't necessarily flow out but stay in to reinvest, then the member of parliament or the island administrator can do the things like put up street lights and take care of the clinic and so on, because everything you collect have to come back to Nassau, to have to go back. But by the time you go back, that dollar turns into 15 cents. And so there's no money to now reinvest to paint the clinics and so on. And so that's one of the challenges we have to find, a balancing act to be able to reestablish and rebuild those islands that are deep in the south. But you remember now, the Turks and Caicos broke away from the Bahamas because all of the taxes from the salt was coming into Nassau, but nothing was going back into Nassau. So they petitioned the governor at the time, Governor Shirley, to break away from the Bahamas. They went under Jamaica, and then they went back under the British, all because the money wasn't coming back in for reinvestment. Acklins got the same problem, Inagua got the same problem. The new administration, whoever it may be, have to almost treat Acklins like an independent territory. Acklins, sorry, so that they could regenerate and build Acklins and Mical.
And that is why Cassius, that is why Peggy, Howard, that is why who represents Mical is important. They have to have they have to have almost like a singular vision. Well, each candidate does, but you understand what I'm saying. for that grouping of islands right there that make up that constituency, they cannot sit and with their hand under their chin and say the government ain't in it.
If I could add
Shanique,
if I could add one second, Howard, if I could add the fact that you don't have much people there, because the more people, the more the economy flows. So if you have a little bit of people, then the money doesn't flow. So we also need to look at how do you repopulate it. Because
well, I'll tell you this, Cassius. Wait 1 second. In this whole sort of burgeoning excitement, people are saying they are ready to move back and relocate.
Precisely. Now, I want to tell you something now. The Acklins Cooperative is the most successful cooperative in the whole entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. They are doing so well now with the cascarilla bark and exporting the cascarilla bark that the residents got together that their cooperative is doing so well that's a model for the entire Bahamas. Oh. So it's something that they've been working on. But now if you have more people down there, you can build a whole economy because you need people to build an economy.
Jump in, Howard.
yes, and Shanique, I agree with much of what Cassius has said, and I'm not either way saying that someone who is wealthy should be representing MyCal, or someone who's not wealthy should. But you need someone with resources. We're talking about a 5-island constituency that is very complex. Each of these islands are distinct and different in their own way, and you have to traverse these islands as a member of parliament, right? And you need to bring resources to bear on each and every one of these islands. Not only does these islands need to be repopulated and the infrastructure need to be developed, but those people that are coming back, they need to be scaled. The people that are there need to be upscaled so that they can take advantage of the opportunities that a member of parliament and a government will bring to bear on that particular constituency. And Shanique, Mr. Karen, I saw him on your show about a month or two ago. He made a great case. He has those resources. We don't know who the F&M is going to bring. Maybe they're going to bring someone who is a resource person who has resources that they can pump into constituency so it can be an even match. But Mr. Karen looks like a strong contender to me at this particular time with no one else out there for the F&M to be his aspiring competitor. Yeah. But Mr. Karen seems to be someone who has the resources and understands what needs to be brought to bear. And, and also my last point
Howard, I have to go to a break. Listen, the time is like this. Justin, don't play with me. And I agree with both gentlemen. Peggy, you will jump in after the break, but I just want to say this. When he was on the show a couple months ago, just the fact that he plans on having, just outfitting MyCal with emergency response vehicles and new business. Cassius, that new economy is exactly what MyCal itself needs as a part of the Bahamas, but its own thing happening. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this. Stay close.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains, or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering. Relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating 25 years of music, and you're invited to the greatest show ever. Counting down the years, performing hit song after hit song. VVS, Colin McDonald, KB, Dyson Knight and D-Mark. Saturday, November 1st at the Farm Marshall Road, 8 p.m. until. Tickets can be purchased online at www.bahamasettickets.com for your skybox or to be a food vendor. Call 424-6433, 477-0191. Sponsored by ZNS, Island Luck TV, The Farm, Gatorade Today & Co. Limited, Krista Minute, and Associates.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you tuned in this evening. Before the break, we were talking about MyCal and the uniqueness of MyCal. It's no new news to any of us. It's a constituency made up of several islands, each with its own unique challenges, each with its own needs. And we were talking about how the possibility of a Robert Karen looks in MyCal. Peggy, everyone has spoken but you. Your thoughts on what the people had to say, the people of MyCal had to say yesterday to our news team?
Well, Shanique, I went there yesterday and I went live from the PLP headquarters, and a number of residents of MyCal, they had the same thing. We don't want Robert. We need Robert. And the truth of the matter is, MyCal cannot afford a poor, broke down candidate to be its MP. Because of the makeup of the constituency, you need to bring your own money, your own resources to be able to mobilize not only for your constituency, but for your constituents. $150,000 annual funds for the constituency is like your travel budget just to get around to your different islands in your constituency. And so the residents that I spoke with, and there were so many from MyCal, and they all said, into my phone, we don't want Robert, we need him. And many of them have said, we spoke with him, and we like his plans for our constituency. And so it is interesting to watch who the F&M will bring. You got to be able to compete in this season. And I'm not just saying with words. You have to come not looking to get wealth, but bring your wealth and invest in these constituencies.
Of course, he is still a hopeful. There are a few others, I understand, also hoping to secure the nomination for the PLP. It'll be interesting to see where the PLP, which direction they go in. But I'll tell you, it just appeared. The people are right. MyCal has been neglected. I remember this show, they brought this show there last year. and talked about, we showed exactly what's happening in MyCal. Robert has made a little dent in that so far in terms of just things that he's doing. I mean, several emergency response vehicles are on their way to MyCal. And so people are now saying, you know what, wait a minute, it's our turn. We deserve this.
Yes.
Quality of life must return to MyCal. And it must not just return as it once perhaps in the heyday, but it must return even at a higher level. So listen, guys, we'll watch that, because remember, we have a wonderful series starting at the end of the month where we dissect each constituency, each candidate. Listen, no holds barred, and all of that, and we go straight in. Now, you all, for the second day, union leaders and their members took to the streets in a peaceful show of solidarity, this time delivering a letter directly addressed to Prime Minister Davis at Office of the Prime Minister, demanding action and accountability. Now, as that protest was happening on the outside of the Office of the Prime Minister, other teachers' unions were sitting with the Prime Minister inside the Office of the Prime Minister to have their issues addressed. We get this story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and talk about it.
We saw no need to participate in any action taken because our members' rights, they were not violated.
That sums up why Major, who represents just over 800 members in the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, decided not to join Wilson and dozens of teachers in demonstration. Their pent-up frustrations came after public servants got salary increases following a pay review that initially left out teachers. Hence why this morning's meeting.
It was very positive in that we understand that this is the Prime Minister's gift to us as teachers. At the beginning, we were not on the list, but he has assured us that teachers are included in this.
Bahamas Educators Managerial Union President Stephen McPhee also touting his meeting with Davis as result-driven, as he argued for the inclusion of those he represents in the exercise.
The director and the deputy director would have been included. And as they are post in our career path, our claim was, as managers and supervisors, we should have been considered and treated the same. The Prime Minister and his team, I must say, was very receptive in some points, was even apologetic.
Now, a major bone of contention for Wilson is that she and her members are being told to expect salary increases before Christmas. It appears to be the same timeline Davis gave to Major and McPhee, who don't seem to be up in arms about that.
By December, it is promised that we will have what has been promised to us.
I think the Prime Minister, as many of us, suspects as soon as the Prime Minister could deliver, which maybe even be prior.
So I want to bring the panel in right now so that we can quickly get in on this and talk about what's happening. I'll tell you this though, before you all weigh in, there were many people today who figured they should weigh in, and I talk in regular Bahamians who for any number of reasons have to visit a government office. Yeah, so we call them a government office, any ministry, and they are very angry. They are angry because while this row was going on for what many of them see as wow, an unexpected boost to your salary, when will your service match up? In fact, several residents from the island of Bimini, listen to this, you all. I want you all to listen to this because I want you to respond. Several residents from Bimini also informed about a manager of NIB who was recently relieved of his duties, fired, because he was taking the people's money, allegedly, reportedly. And what was allegedly happening is when the people went in to pay, whether they be business owners, individuals, their NIB contributions, it was being pocketed. Well, that was discovered recently, and that individual was let go of his duty. The thing is, the individual is just walking around Bimini. Meanwhile, according to many of them, they are now being asked to hey, catch up, because your money wasn't really coming into under your name and all that. They got receipts, But the point is, this is what was going on. And so whether it's that matter in Bimini, whether it's any government office people go to, and from the security at the gate to the receptionist to the secretary, don't know how to talk to nobody and don't know how to just be cordial. with the Bahamian public coming in, that people have had enough. Customer service where? People have had enough with these government agencies. Just jump in. Anybody want to jump in first and talk about this two-day demonstration?
Shanique, you know, I'm going to jump from where you left off when it comes to customer service. Even the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Bahamas called out civil servants to step up in their service to Bahamian people. At the first Lincoln rally, the Eastern rally, he said, we need you to step up. And I was also told of a story from social service where they were staff were instructed not to discontinue the 92 assistance for those who need. And staff continue to discontinue it, even though they receive instructions from the government to continue because people need the assistance. We need servants of the people, civil servants, you're servants of the people, to step up their game when it comes to serving the Bahamian people. You make demands. You want us to support your demands when we receive poor customer service. And it is not everybody. I'm not saying all civil servants, but those of you, especially those of you who deal directly with the public when it comes to answering the phone. When you pick it up, you should know how to answer the phone. And don't say, hold on or wait. You need to improve. As the government try to improve your pay, please improve your service to the Bahamian public.
And Shanique, I agree with Peggy. And I must add that we as Bahamians, we claim that we want a better Bahamas, right? And I want to believe that by and large, Bahamians do want a better Bahamas. We want better roads. We want a better education system. We want a better prison system. We want better infrastructure. We want the buildings to look better and be more well kept. We want a better hospital. We want a better political system. We want better government. We want everything to be better except ourselves. Everybody wants a better everything, but better in the Bahamas starts with each one of us as individual citizens. You have to be a better person, a better citizen, a better worker. The people make up the Bahamas. You know, we could go anywhere else in the world if we have to be relocated from the Bahamas, and we'll still be Bahamians. The land don't make us Bahamians, you know, because we are the original inhabitants of the Bahamas. The Taino Indians, Arawaks, and Lucayans were the original inhabitants, and they were killed in a genocide, and we came there as the ancestors of Africans. So what I'm trying to say is the people, us and our culture and what we bring to the table, we make up the Bahamas. And so in order for us to have a better Bahamas, however you propose and concoct that vision, it's going to start with us.
It starts with all of us. Yeah, don't start with who you
bettering ourselves as people.
Thank you, Howard. It never starts with who you vote for. Oh, no, that's on a different level. It starts with you. Cassius, jump in really quickly.
You know, Shanique, we've seen this song and dance for the last 30 years. I mean, I remember with Pat Bain, God rest his soul, Obie Ferguson, I remember protesting with them 25 years ago. And it's been the same thing. And 25 years later, every year we still see the unions in the street going to Parliament asking for money. Okay, my question is, timeline. These people, it's like nothing has changed. So we've all seen this movie before. We've seen them in front of the barricades. I was there for 25 years. My question is, when are we going to do something different, okay? These people in the civil servant, thousands of them, pour a lot of money into these unions. Every month, pour into these unions. Why don't the unions take this money and invest them into investment portfolios so that the dividends could go back to them so they ain't got to go to Bay Street? You understand? We have to think differently.
No, there's a point.
So you got all these millions and millions and millions of dollars monthly poured into the unions, whether it's the teachers union, the doctors union, this union, that union. The union leaders are getting handsomely paid, but the people are still broke. And they're waiting for the government to give them something more. Okay, the government can only give you what we can get, because when you look at the government don't have much money. This is the first time in 50 years we have a surplus in the budget projected. First time. So extra money to play with. So all that money pumped into these unions, use that as an investment vehicle to invest so the dividends can go back to these people so that when they retire, they can have money to spend and they ain't got to go to Bay Street. We've seen this song and dance over and over and over, and the next administration can do the same thing. But we got to put the onus on the unions, stop the government. The unions take that money, invest that money so that the people could benefit from their money. Not that in yours, that's theirs.
No. By the way, those unions that met inside today were Stephen McPhee from BEMU. Of course, they sort of the middle managers of teachers in the education system, and also the other teachers union headed by Sandra Major. They sat with the Prime Minister today. We were really just want to hear what they have to say, just to hear a different point of view on this matter. And hopefully we will get to that tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Beyond the Headlines is back with more right after this.
The Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our #1 industry.
We should not just say, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The Out Island of Bahamas, there are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing and saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital, but not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guides are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows those skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience, with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you join in this evening. We're going to shift gears now and talk about college fairs. You know, just recently we had in fact, several universities from the United States and Canada right here in the studio joining me, and the representatives from those universities were here to talk about how you, that's right, high school graduate, perhaps wanting to return to school, how you can get in and many times an entire free ride, partial scholarships. It's all available for the Bahamian student out there, even the lifelong learner. And so it's really awesome. Now this weekend, there is another college fair that's set, and you must know about this. It is in collaboration with the SUNY Oswego State University of New York. In fact, this university and the representative from the university you're about to meet has just sort of linked arms with the government to help make this all possible. We're going to talk about that. And so welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Erica Morris. And we also have from the SUNY Oswego University, again, based in New York City, we have Joshua McEwen. Hello to you. Good to have you here. Welcome to the Bahamas, Joshua. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here. Erica, good evening to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's just talk about, first of all, your university that already a number of Bahamians are enrolled in, having a very successful time matriculating and getting wonderful grades, performing well, being very front and center on the campus of SUNY Oswego. Let's just talk about and give us an idea about this university in New York City.
Thank you very much. My name is Joshua McEwen, State University of New York, Oswego, as you mentioned. We're actually located in upstate New York, so we're about a 45-minute flight from New York City. We're located right on the shores of the Great Lake Ontario, which is one of the 5 Great Lakes of North America. The university is 162 years old. We have over 100 academic programs. We enroll students from over 30 countries around the world, including the Bahamas. Nice. And we've done so for about a decade now. And they've done very well.
And you've linked with Erica. Erica, of course, has a reputation around the Bahamas as sort of being the student champion.
That's right.
Helping them get away and get abroad to school,
Yep.
schools all across the United States and further. Erica, listen, I love to hear your story. I know this has been your work now for quite a number of years.
12 years.
Yes, tell us about, first of all, the work you do, and then this relationship with SUNY Oswego.
Yes, well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Erica Morris, and I am the president of Legacy College Readiness and Tours. It is an independent education consulting firm where I assist kids from, trying to figure it all out till this is what it is that I want to do and finding the best fit school for them. Actually, SUNY Oswego was the very first school that I connected with the government with. I could remember, and my star student then at the time was Kalandra Woodside, 15 years old. She was the youngest in their 150-something year history to go to that school from Stanyard Creek Andrus. Okay, as she graduated.
What is she doing now?
She works at BAMSI. She switched her major from communications to biochemistry.
And you must understand, this is what's happening as well. A number of students from the Bahamas have done so well that SUNY Oswego has taken them on as full-time employees, doing any number of things on the university campus. Now let's just talk about how you have further expanded this relationship with this university and brought the government in. How does that all work and look like?
What do you mean? With further expanded as far as, you know, I've sent students there. We do college tours there, and just getting them reconnected again with the government.
Right, and exactly. I thought you sort of deepened that relationship, and there was some agreement, new agreement with the government.
Yes. So it's with the PSSP program. So we do have public and private school students that attend that school. And one of the things I like to tell people about SUNY Oswego, I never sell the school. When I talk about the school, is a certain student that goes to that school. And I never have to sell their programs, never, because they have the top international accreditations across the board. The one thing that I sell them on is they take care of my students.
We do. Yeah.
They know my students by name. I've had many firsts at the school. I had my first student that was on the spectrum who was there. He did amazing, okay? Finished in 4 years. I had the youngest student that SUNY Oswego has ever had there. She went there at 15, graduated cum laude at the age of 19 with a degree in chemistry. And then my latest first is Aiden Wilson. He is the first international Black student body president of SUNY Oswego.
Wow,
yes.
So history made, Bahamian students making history as well.
Yes.
Talk about that family atmosphere that SUNY Oswego has been able to sort of cultivate, not just for Bahamian students, but as Josh says, students from around the world are on the campus, and yet you've managed to achieve this sort of intimate individual experience.
Yeah, it's true. So we're a smallish campus, about 6,500 students. The town is also relatively small, about 20,000 students, but we're close to major cities like Syracuse, New York, Rochester, New York, and only about an hour flight from New York City. The campus itself, I can't describe how welcoming it is. Everyone who works there, myself included, my staff included, we believe in international students. We want international students to come. And I have a soft spot in my heart for Bahamian students. Why? They work hard. They have good values. They're sincere. And Aiden, who you're going to meet in a few minutes, he's a student who's an example of that. He's the kind of student, and Kaylanja was too, who was hired as a resident assistant in the residence hall. So on top of the generous scholarship, so we give a $9,000 scholarship to every Bahamian student, up to $6,000 more if you have high grades. That could be a $15,000 scholarship from SUNY Oswego. And we are a PSSSP partner, so that could be an additional $10,000 or so to what you get. So we do work hard to bring the cost of attendance down. And then on campus opportunities, like being a resident advisor, you get a free room and subsidized meal plan. And so the cost of attendance can come quite down. What I've observed is that Bahamian students, and I think it's because we work with a good partner like Legacy, they're the kind of student that people want to have in class, the kind of student they want to live with in the dorm, and they want to hire on campus. And not everyone, is in that situation.
Absolutely.
But someone like Aiden and other Bahamian students, it's a really strong representation that they have on our campus. We're delighted.
And so you've been hearing all this segment about this college fair that's happening now, even though we've been giving you a bit of background and a little history so you get a good insight about SUNY Oswego, based in New York City and up in Upper New York. They're saying a number of Bahamian students go there. They offer a number of programs, and get this, as you heard from Joshua, many Bahamians are super successful on this campus. Many are now full-time employees of the campus, and so the opportunities are vast. Erica, let's just talk about, as we also welcome in Aiden Wilson. Aiden is the star pupil, by the way.
Yes,
he has now become the face of SUNY Oswego for international students. He has made history as the first international and Black
Yes, student body president.
And Black student body president. And so there, look at us, look at us just doing big things at SUNY Oswego. Aiden, you know, congratulations to you. I know that you're going to be a part of this weekend's college fair. Talk about your experience at SUNY Oswego before we hear more about the college fair, where it's going to be, the location, the time, all that stuff.
Of course. So I graduated at 16 from Aquinas College, you know, the ACEs on Gladstone Road. And I was the kind of student that was very quiet. I joined junior achievement in 10th grade, and that kind of, you know, brought me out a little bit. I was part of Commonwealth Bank, and, you know, being a part of the speech competition and things of that nature kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit. I was at 16, and my mom was like, Aiden, I think I want you to go off to school. So I worked with this Erica Morris to find a school, and SUNY Oswego was one of those options. So I went off to school in August of 2021. Mind you, that was still during COVID. And I was homesick. I'm not gonna lie. There were moments when I thought I could not stay in school long. And to kind of to cope, I would spend a bunch of money. But regardless, I still persevered. I came home, my mom was like, Aiden, you gotta put in some work. I can't just afford all this on my own. So I got involved in our campus. I started working in the dining hall. Like
You started making yourself known to the professors, because which is key, Bahamian students. Listen, when you are chosen, and he'll tell you how Erica, the work she does to really kind of make it easy for students not to have all that headache, them and their parents and guardians, right? But listen to what he said. Also, Joshua said, Joshua McEwen, by the way, from SUNY Oswego University in New York City, he said, listen, the traits and the character traits and qualities that Joshua's exhibited and many other Bahamian students are what make them outstanding. Pay attention. Go ahead, Joshua. Pardon me. Go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, so started working on campus, and while I was there, the biggest thing was just asking questions. I was the kind of person that, like, if I needed something, I was going to whoever. I was going to beg whoever to find how I could get X, Y, and Z. So I worked in the dining hall. Then I decided, you know, one day, I worked over the summer with the college in our orientation team. I saw this lady, and something just told me, you know, just ask this woman a question. So I went up to her and I was like, hey, I really need a job. Do you have any jobs available? She gave me a business card and told me to reach out to her. I reached out to her. She told me to apply for this position. It's called a resident assistant. And that position allowed me to get a free room and get part of my meal plan covered. I saved over like $11,000, $12,000 per year, which made school really affordable.
Good.
So again, I would tell any student, wherever you go, get involved in your campus, get a job, join clubs and organizations, but of course, ask those questions.
And talk. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and talk. Not about, but you have a guy on social media. No. Talk about campus life and also speak with professors. Now, talk about how Erica's work and the work she's known to do around the nation helped you make it easier for you to get into SUNY Oswego.
Of course. So working with Erica, we started during my senior year of high school, and we heard Erica's name. She would promote at our JA meetings, and I was like, yeah, Erica, I really want to go off to school. I'm young, so I introduced her to my mom, and we said we were going to work together to figure out how I would go off to school. So we looked at a number of institutions all across the country, and SUNY Oswego was one that stood out. As Erica mentioned before, there's a certain kind of student that goes to Oswego. It's a lot of times a student that doesn't want to be like close to home, so you don't want to be in Florida. You want to be a bit off. You're a bit younger, but you still really want to do well. You want to go to a well-known accredited institution. So we would meet with Erica. We met a few times during that year, and it would always be later in the evening. So she was very accommodating of our schedule at that, and she would just guide us through the whole process. So when it came to applying to the school, she just encouraged us to just go ahead and do it. But even when it came to like the visa interview process, just encouraging us to stay true to who I am, explain to the officials at the embassy why exactly I want to go off to school, what I want to study. So she was a great help, and I really credit me to being where I am.
Because the process of going to school, and it's everybody's dream. Yeah, many of us have done it. But it's daunting. We know the work involved, right, Aiden? Erica, let's just talk about exactly how this has become a passion for you. How and how you plan on assisting more students this weekend.
Well, it became I wanted to start. I just wanted to do college tours. That's all I wanted to do. And I did a college tour for junior achievement. And I just thought it was absurd. I'm like, you guys are going off to to visit colleges and you're not coming back with any scholarships. And the executive director now, Ms. Tammy Lackey, said to me, well, that's now your job. I had no clue. I didn't know what a super score was in SATs. I knew nothing. I didn't know what an articulation agreement was. I didn't know anything. And I thank God that I had people to help me along the way. And that particular trip, I started off with 2 schools. I had 9 kids left that college tour with scholarships. So, but only 5 of them took the scholarship. 2 full rides to Morgan, 2 partial to Morgan, and 1 partial to Howard University. So from that 2, I've grown to 30, and I've also extended outside of the United States. I have a business school that's at a U.S. business school in France, and I work with a medical school in Grenada. And I could remember Dr. Schmidt, David Schmidt. He was the provost at MTSU. And, you know, I'm always beg. I will always beg. And, you know, he said to me, you give us really good students. You should think about doing this as a career. And believe it or not, Shanique, that is when I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. I was about 43 years old at the time. Actually, I was younger because I'm 52 now. But anyway, and I was like, yes, I love it, you know. And they extended a special scholarship for junior achievers. And I'm the only one outside of the United States that has this scholarship. Just by being a part of Junior Achievement, you can get an additional $10,000 to go to MTSU.
Right. And so for the student who will attend this weekend, we'll give information about that in a minute, but for the student who needs to begin positioning themselves to look more attractive and appealing to universities, what should they start doing now?
Let me tell you.
You keep dropping Junior Achievement. Is that a part of it?
I think it is, because if it was not for Junior Achievement, Aiden wouldn't have had a TED Talk. He probably wouldn't be the student body president of the high school. You know, not because I work there, the programs are awesome, okay? So this weekend, we're going to have a college fair at R.M. Bailey Senior High School. It's not a traditional college fair. We're gonna have workshops, and we're gonna have people that are actually a part of the industries. We're modeling it behind the Ministry of Education priority areas. So we're gonna have Andrew Blue Johnson, he's going to speak on business. We're going to have Philip Simon, who's going to speak in the Ministry of Tourism, not for the Ministry of Tourism, but tourism and hospitality. We're supposed to have Andrew Coprol. We're going to have Clint Watson, who's going to speak on communication. Those are areas of priority. So we're going to encourage kids to come out there. R.M. Bailey Elevation Band will be playing during the break time, and it's more or less like a fair and an expo. And we're also going to have the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, their recruiting team.
Oh, you are totally like rolling it all out.
Yes,
this is an
yes.
event, y'all.
It's an event.
Even if you just want something to do.
Yes, even if you want something to do. And we're
if you're in 11th grade.
10th grade. Let's start. We want kids to start looking at colleges from the 10th grade.
Yeah.
I don't care what your GPA is. I had a student to come to me the other day with a 1.91. I said, I can get you in school, okay? And we will do that.
Give any phone numbers so persons get additional information.
Well,
it's when? Which day of this weekend?
Saturday, September 18th, October 18th, sorry.
Yeah.
Saturday, October 18th at R.M. Bailey High School. It's from 9 to 3. So you can come out, you can possibly get a job, you can register for school. If you want to go back to school, you can come out there, be a part of some of our workshops. The phone number, if you want to get in contact with me, is 809-5278. And it's absolutely free.
Free, you heard that? You heard that word right there, free, that's the key word. But again, your life awaits you. It's really an incredible opportunity with this university. I've heard so much amazing things about it. So Erica, continue doing amazing things for Bahamian students. Aiden, congratulations once again. Thanks also to Dr. Joshua McEwen. He is the Associate Provost and Director of International Students there at SUNY Oswego. I thank you all for being here this evening. And again, that happens this Saturday from 9 until 3. Show up and get your life together.
Yes.
I thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. It's certainly been an awesome pleasure having you along. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.